in the device.
Yeah. Sorry, Rami. I'm less experienced on the headset, but I know that there's a way for you to do that. I thought you. Yeah, it's easier on the computer though. By the way, you can hit the tab key and they'll stay up, or the space bar temporarily. You'll use the space bar a lot to interact in hubs, whether you're picking up objects or muting people or moderating people. It's very intuitive, right, to use the space bar as a hotkey. So anyway, so getting back to my introduction, everyone, hopefully you can hear me okay. Um, so I am an instructional media
Very low.
specialist. You might try turning up your volume on your Quest headset there too, Rami. Or you can get close to me. Get really close to me. Come up close, Rami. Is that better? Is that
Yep.
louder? There we go. Okay. All right. So yeah, because the spatial audio is something we'll be talking about in Hubs as well, and it's possible that since Rami is on a headset, that he is having more of a spatial audio effect on my voice today. So that makes sense, right? He was kind of far away. He needs
But
to.
you know what? I will try because I went to that screen and I lowered down.
Okay, no problem.
Maybe if I go there and lower up, I'm lower. I put it up, I can hear you better. I will try. That's what I'm
Okay,
gonna do.
all right. Well, I'll continue with the presentation while you work on that. And if I'm assuming he might be playing videos, which we'll all be able to hear. So sorry for the distractions, everyone. All right, you bet. Yeah. So I work with a faculty team. I've been working in higher education for the last 10 years. Prior to that, I worked in video games development. I was a motion graphics designer out of college. I worked with some amazing people on some amazing video games in the past. And so a lot of that experience lends to my skills today. I want to let you all know that I first learned about Mozilla Hubs 3 months ago. I just found out about Mozilla Hubs, and I've just been totally consumed by WebXR and creation in the Spoke editor. And I'll tell you more about that today, too. Um, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on the slides, so we'll just see how this goes. I really want to engage all of you with some interactivity today and also socialize and network with you. So let's see if I can get through this. So some quick slides. The first thing that I'm going to do, though, is introduce you to the Ready Player Me website, where you have an opportunity to create your own custom avatar. You're welcome to do that and follow along today. If you'd like to actually do that, you can. You can just open up another browser and create your avatar, and you'll be able to do that, and I'll show you. If you don't want to do that today, you can follow the directions later. When you first came into this event, my slide presentation is linked at the entry. So you can find the link later. If you'd like to find my website, you can click on the link here on my profile here to the side. You'll see there's a link to my website. Um, and so I've got some videos on the walls and other things and activities ready for today. Um, the topic for today is creating VR classrooms using Mozilla Hubs. And so I already introduced myself. I work in the Center for Academic Innovation at Chemeketa. And Chemeketa is the second largest community college in Oregon out of 17. We have 17 community colleges in Oregon. I should mention I work on a statewide work group for emergent technology. So I work with all of the community colleges on things like virtual reality. Um, the agenda for today, this was adapted from a former presentation at another conference. But what we're going to do, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to show you how to create a custom avatar. We're already in Hubs today. Previously, in that other conference, we were in Zoom, and then we joined Hubs. So you're out. It's great. We're already in Hubs today. I'm going to talk about VR for education and just some topics that are really concepts for educators to think about. Things like use cases, and then we're going to do a live demo. So that's the agenda for today. Here are your learning objectives. I'm hoping after today you will understand key concepts for educators about immersive environments. And I know, knowing the room and knowing the audience, I think you already might have some idea or experience of that. You'll be able to create a virtual classroom in Mozilla Hubs after today. You'll gain basic skills for interacting in Hubs. And then you'll come away with some key resources for getting started and further exploration. So this is really meant for a getting started, low entry level audience. So if you're a little more advanced, then maybe you'll get some things out of this today too. So this is the activity. Let's just jump right into this real quick. Again, I'm going to guide you through this if you'd like to do it, or you can just watch. Um, you can create custom avatars on other websites and bring them into Mozilla Hubs. So one of the places that you can create an avatar is this website called Ready Player Me. And you might be familiar with Ready Player Me. You can create an avatar using the right in your web browser. And what's really great about it is that it uses your browser cookie to store and save your changes. So you don't even have to create an account. Um, and there's no account sign up required. So, but if you do delete your browser history, you will have to start over again. So you might think about creating an account if you're going to be doing more customization on your avatar, you want to keep it into the future. But what you do is you'll customize your avatar on this website. Well, who created this website? The company is Wolf 3D. They were founded in 2014. And you know what's interesting is they have scanned tens of thousands of high quality faces. That's what they specialize in, is scanning faces and creating avatars. And they're a partner with Stanford University. And so they are seem to be a very reputable company anyway, and working with educators. And they use a deep learning solution that will analyze a photograph. You take a selfie if you want, and it will try to match that selfie as a starting point, so you can customize that further. One last thing to mention here too is that this is all open to use. They use Creative Commons licensing, which means that you can use this work in other places. You just have to give attribution. And if you're not familiar with Creative Commons licensing, the important thing there is that it's shareable. The content can be shared with others, and that's important in the metaverse and in VR. Here's what you do to create your avatar. You're going to go to the website, Ready Player Me. I'm going to show it to you. You're going to select an avatar type. So you'll choose half body because in Mozilla, they only support half body avatars. And then you'll select the body type. And you can choose male, female, or they also have a neutral. And I like that. You can take a photograph of yourself, but that's optional. You do not have to forfeit a photograph of yourself. You don't have to do that. And then you can customize the avatar using the editor. It's very easy. When you're done, you click the Done button and you will copy the link that you're going to use to paste into Mozilla. That will bring your avatar in. Okay, so when I said in Mozilla, that last part, when you go to change your avatar, you'll find in the lower right corner, you're going to be able to click the little three dots in Mozilla and you'll be able to change your avatar. So once we go through this, I'll show you how that's done. So let me show you the Ready Player Me website here, if I can. Hopefully you can all see that okay. So Ready Player Me, readyplayer.me. It's readyplayer.me. And so when I go out here, I click Create Avatar. And so here let me zoom in on this so you can see that bigger. Okay. I will select half body. And then here's the choice, masculine, feminine, or don't specify. So I'll just say masculine since that's my gender. Here's where I can take a photo or I can upload a file, a photograph of myself, but I'm just going to continue without a photo. And it will show a random male avatar figure as it loads here, and I'll be able to customize that. So here's my figure. I can click on the avatar and rotate it. I can zoom in on my mouse wheel here and look closer at it. I can customize various aspects of the avatar as you might expect. So let's go with hairstyle here, and let's change the hairstyle. And then let's change the hair color, or sorry, skin tone. Let's just jump around. So let's go a little bit darker here. I know that Ramy was asking about this, wanting to get an exact skin tone or a little bit closer to his own. With the shirt, you have some limited options, and some of these are a little bit more fantastic and some are silly. Some are a little bit more serious. And then you can add other props or aspects of what you might expect, to stylize your avatar, right? When you're done, you click the Done button. And then it says, well, enter your email address if you want to sign up, or just continue without signing up. It should generate an image of your avatar here, a nice little photograph. Here it comes. And there is my beautiful avatar. And I can click the download button, or I can copy the link. I'm going to copy the link. Then later in Mozilla, I'm going to click the three dots. I'll change the avatar. And in the top right corner, you will click the change avatar URL. And that's where you'll be able to paste that in. So I wanted to let everybody know I do have a video that shows you how to do this. I'd like to play that real quick. Again, this is from a different conference. And then I'll invite you all to jump out real quick. We'll give you a few minutes to try this if you'd like. So here's a video, just shows you how to do this. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's session on creating VR classrooms with Mozilla Hubs. And I'm playing a video on the side wall over here. By the way, this video is over here on the side of the wall. Session, so we're going to invite you in. We're going to share a link in the chat. When you click on the link, you'll come to our Hubs room. First thing you need to do is click on Join Room. Next, you can click on Change Avatar. Here's where you can change your avatar. In the top right corner, you can click on Avatar GLB URL. And here's where you can then paste in that link that you copied from your Ready Player Me avatar that you copied earlier. Click on the Apply button, and you should see your custom avatar in the little window there. You can rename your avatar. You can actually type in your name, or you can use an optional made-up fictional name. And then click the Accept button. You'll be able to test your microphone, and then you can also test your speakers. There's a toggle to mute your microphone upon entry, and that's a good idea. Okay, so I was just showing the part where you're already in here today. That was a little bit more of getting everybody started. That video was intended to help people get into Hubs, but you're in Hubs today. I just wanted to show you where you're going to be clicking on the avatar URL if you want to try and add this avatar and create it. Why don't we just give everybody like three to 5 minutes? Does that sound like, does anybody want to try this? Or is everybody just fine with their avatars, and should we move on to the next piece of, yes. Okay, excellent. No problem. Yes. So Daniel, I'm going to rewind the video right on the side of the wall over here, and this is going to show you the next step. You'll click on the More button in the lower right corner, and you can select Change Name and Avatar. And then after that, you'll click on Change Avatar, and then the top right corner, it says Avatar GLB URL. I'll play the Yep. And then paste in the URL if you copied the URL. If it's a file, click the paperclip icon and choose the file from your computer. Did you copy the URL or did you download the file, Daniel? Excellent. And now we see your name updated too. And there you are, Daniel. Excellent. You want to come up on stage and yeah, everybody can see it. Yeah, come up on stage, Daniel. This is great. Yeah, and now press the I key on your keyboard, Daniel. Press the I key, and you can see yourself. Yeah. Yeah, and so I did a conference presentation a couple weeks ago for a regional e-learning conference, and I invited everybody to do this, and it was so neat because everybody in the room had created their own custom avatar, and it really felt like a room of professionals with different different appearances. Yeah, yeah, and so correct. So that's why you want to. That's the benefit of creating a Hubs account is that you can save your avatars and your scenes. And I'll tell you about creating an account. If you don't create an account, you will need to re-upload your avatar. You can, yeah. And by the way, Daniel, you can bookmark the Ready Player Me website, and as long as you don't delete your browser history, you can always get back to it again. All right, so that's Ready Player Me, everybody. That was great. You went out and you saw how that's done, and you can create your own custom avatar. Yeah, excellent. Thank you all. That's great. Uh, so the next thing here I want to tell you about is get through this here. You will not hear. Yeah, so I was adapting this presentation. You already are in Hubs, so you've probably gotten familiar with the controls. You know that you can use the WASD keys on your keyboard to move around. You might have seen some of those controls at the entry when you came in. I shared with you other controls besides movement, right? You know how to rotate and move, hopefully now. You might know that you can right click and teleport. By the way, if you go into your preferences, if you have an account, you can turn off teleport. I do not like teleport on the computer because the mouse click, it really
It's
messes me
terrible.
up. Yeah,
Yes, teach me how to turn it off.
yeah.
It's
So
got
you
me in
go,
trouble a few times today already.
yeah. So what you do is you click on the more button, and then you go to preferences, and then from there you can go to miscellaneous. Sorry, under controls, and you can disable teleporter. So that's something that's really helpful to
Oh
disable
my
the teleport.
gosh. There's so many preferences here. I have to say you're blowing my mind today. I've
This is
been
great.
in hubs before, but nothing like this. It's been probably a year. This is
Okay.
incredible.
All right. This is great. And was that Donna or Laurel? Who am I listening to? Is
It's
that Donna?
Donna.
Donna.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Sorry to confuse your voice. So
Don't worry about it.
also, you can control all of these things too in your classroom. So do you want people to be able to fly, for example? If you hit the G key, you can fly. Everybody, you can fly in the room. And I've let you all fly in this room. You can turn that off so that other people can't fly. So maybe you don't want them to fly. But flying is great because if you get stuck and you're like, oh, I'm stuck, I can't, I don't know how to get out, press the G key, and then you can get out of wherever you're stuck at. So flying is great, but also flying is great for video recording. If you hold your shift key down while you're flying, you will fly really fast. So the shift key speeds you up. So this is just some tips on some keyboard controls. Let's tell you more about immersive VR environments. Let's talk about that. Immersive VR environments, this idea is not new to the room since you're all in an immersive environment. I'm thinking this is not brand new for any of you today. But I wanted to point out some terminology here. Uh, so if you're already familiar with augmented reality, you know that that's where you're kind of projecting uh, virtual reality into the physical space. And when we use terms like virtual reality, they can really get mixed up. Like when you say augmented reality or virtual reality or mixed reality, or now we all say XR, that really gets lost on that audience who doesn't know what these subtleties or differences are. But there are differences, right? And today you're in mixed reality. Okay, the merging of real and virtual worlds to produce new environments that allow physical objects to interact with each other in real time. So there's the definition from Riverside Technologies. I liked their example of what mixed reality is. And I really like this Venn diagram because it just really shows how AR is often, that touch experience, and VR is that fully immersive, and MR is kind of in between, right? A lot of us today are not in headsets. And then XR is that umbrella. And so you really could, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's good. I wanted to have that visual communication and try to explain those concepts. So, what about VR in education? How can it be used? How are you using it? I'm sure there's more ideas that are on this short list, but one thing that comes out right away is this ability to socialize and communicate with each other. And let's face it, everyone, outside of Zoom, it's just so much more engaging and interesting. Even if it isn't on a headset, it's just still more engaging, I think. Group work, though. You're all here today. I could ask all of you to break up in groups and to go do work in different areas and come back again. Meetings and events. We're all in Zoom all day long, so why not do some meetings inside of hubs? Art galleries and showcases. You'll find a ton of art galleries and showcases, museums out there in hubs today. It's being used all over the place for those types of events. peer support. So it would be great to like meet with a counselor in here, right? Or also, some of the more obvious things with VR are things like simulations or skills training. And you might also know that when it comes to training in VR, a lot of the focus has been on it, like industrial workforce training and skills development. But now we're finding that VR is really effective in soft skills training too. Things like training leadership, empathy training, diversity training. So VR is great for lots of different use cases. And here we just want to tell you about, well, how can hubs be used for educators? Okay. Well, I'll get into that in just a minute, but I want to tell you, what is hubs exactly? Well, hubs is really three things. First, it's this virtual collaboration space where you can create a room and interact with each other. And we're here today. But there's also the Spoke editor, and the Spoke editor is the key behind hubs. It's one of the most important things. And the reason for that is because you can personalize your spaces and you can create unique environments, and not just environments, but experiences, create educational experiences. And um, now, you can do that in other platforms. They have world builders too. And you might know that there's been communities like um, uh, that have mods like Minecraft, right? Where these communities get behind it and they create really fantastic and interesting things. Well, that's what Spoke does. Okay, and I'm not that familiar with some of these other platforms, so I don't know if they have that same capability, but the sky is the limit with Spoke. You can create whatever you want, whatever experience you want to create, whether it be educational, immersive, storytelling. So I'll tell you more about Spoke. We're not going to get into Spoke today too much, but Spoke is where I have spent all my time, and then I come into Hubs to play with it. So the Hubs Cloud is also, you can host your own Hub server on Amazon Web Services. So that means that if you want to put it behind an authentication login and have your students and your school logging into your own Hubs environment, you can do that too. You just have to run it on your own server, and all of this is open source. So you have that's what Hubs is about. I mentioned the Spoke editor already, and here's just a few um, key insights that you can create your own scenes I talked about. So you'll create scenes and then you bring them into Hubs. And they have all kinds of kits. So you can build architecture, for example. This whole meeting hall was built using the architecture kit in Spoke. And let's see, I'm noticing that we've got a mic on. I'm going to see if I can mute Rami if I can. Sorry, I'm going to mute you, Rami, because we're hearing an echo.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my device because I have to get in on the computer. I got nothing of what you were saying.
Okay. And come up close. Or if you hopefully can hear me better now.
Close, it goes something on the stage. You see this thing.
Okay, yeah, no problem. You can stay to the side if you'd like. All right, so hopefully that echo is not bothering other people. Let me know. Now, this is one of the best things about Hubs. It works across all devices. So your students can get in and they can do it whether they're on a computer or a phone, and they can be fully immersive or they can be semi-immersive. So let's see here. Who am I hearing? Looks like I'm hearing Rami still. Rami, I'm going to mute you again. Okay, better. All right. See how I can moderate the room too? That's another thing I'll talk about is room control. You got to be able to control your classroom. So what are the benefits of creating a Hubs account? Because I've already heard some people ask about that. Can I save my own avatar? Can I save my own scenes that I create? Can I change scenes? That's one of the things that you can do. We're in a meeting hall, but I could change the scene and we could be in a jungle or a campfire scene. Just, of course, you can change scenes, but you need to have an account to do that. Uploading custom scenes, also from Spoke, you need to have an account. Creating an account is no big deal. You just need an email address. And so when you create an account, you don't have to forfeit all of your information, just an email address that you verify, and then you're logged in, and you can benefit from this free account in Hubs. You can access those room moderation controls. So if you want to know, well, how can I promote people or mute people or kick them out? And also saving your rooms as favorites, because you might have a lot of rooms that you like to use and they have a favoriting bookmarking system if you're signed in. Well, let's talk about some of these features that support educators. Well, I talked about creating rooms. So you can create a unique room for every situation. And when you go out to hubs.mozilla.com, you can create a room instantly. If you bookmark that room and return to it later, you can return to that same room, even if you don't have an account. Every time you create a new room, it will randomly assign a URL to it, and you can revisit that room if you want. And so if you bookmark it, you can use it repeatedly. Also, there's a maximum capacity of 25 people in Mozilla Hubs. You can increase that, but then you run the risk of people on low power devices like mobile. They will suffer as you start to get more people in the room. So those are things to be mindful of. But that's creating rooms. And so you might create a room for any event, office hours, a class, a group activity. Very easy to create rooms. You can add content into the rooms as well. So I talked about how you can create scenes. And so here's a scene showing a school. It's a classroom. And in fact, it's one of the first scenes I started working on in Mozilla Hubs. And that's what inspired me to do a lot more work. Was I first wanted to create a classroom. And in fact, my college is looking at high flex instruction. And I wanted to simulate what a classroom would look like in VR for high flex. So I designed a classroom with TV screens, and so it could be used for active learning. And I simulated that. And that was really an interesting experiment with Mozilla Hubs. It's very easy to do in the Spoke editor, was to create a classroom like that. And so here's an example of a model that I was able to add to one of the labs. And, it's just a 3D model, but you know what you can do? You can get creative with it. So for example, you know how you put slides under the microscope and you put your eye up to the eyepiece and you can see things zoomed in, right? Well, with a 3D model, maybe you can't do that. Maybe you can. What if I took a video and I scaled it like the size of a slide and I put the video under the eyepiece? And if you looked at it closely, you could see like an image or a video. You can do that. You can add content and augment these models. There's lots of things you can do creatively if you think about it. Avatars, that's something else that you can add to scenes. We've already personalized our avatars today. I was talking with Ramy earlier, and he was talking about how his particular avatar didn't quite match his, he wanted to be closer to how he looks. And so the ability to customize your presence not only helps you to express yourself, but also fosters social equity in spaces like this. So it's very important that you have the ability to customize yourself and represent yourself. But with avatars, we'll talk a little bit more about too, if we have time for the activity. The presentation from UniVirtual earlier from Charlie Fink, it was so fantastic. He talked about using avatars as costumes and how you might put on an avatar to simulate an experience or to change your look and express yourself differently. That can be done in education for all kinds of reasons, whether it be role playing for things like theater or drama, or things like health sciences, emergency response situations. There's lots of reasons why you might use avatars. Okay, so positional seating. One of the things that you can do is you can teleport to a place. They're called waypoints. And so when you hold your spacebar down in Mozilla, you'll see some of these waypoints. So they're behind you at the entry, for example. There's a bunch of what look like white avatars. And so you can zap yourself into a seat, for example. And that's a really functional thing. Let's say you have a lot of students in a class and you want them all to kind of assemble around you. You could tell them all, take a seat. Everybody, students, press your space bar, please take a seat. Or if you're teaching from a certain position or location that you need to return to quickly, maybe you set up a place where you can just quickly teleport back to that. Positional seating could be something that's helpful. Spatial audio. Spatial audio is important because you can talk. The closer you are, the louder you are. The further away, the softer your voice. Why is that important? Because that means that we can have conversations in this space and it will feel natural. It also means that you can place content in the room, and it will have a certain volume depending on how far away it is. For example, I have some music overhead. And you might have noticed that when you walked through the door, it got louder and then it got quieter when you left it. Well, I've been experimenting with spatial audio. For example, I have a museum, a gallery that I've set up that has audiovisual artist content that you don't see it or hear it until you walk into the room. And then when you leave, it stops or you don't hear it anymore. Um, the ability to ask students to break out into groups and have conversations and then return back into a larger group. All of that is supported by spatial audio. Media frames. Media frames in hubs, that allows you to pin content onto the wall. So I've done that here today. Media frames, one of the things about hubs is that if you create an account, you can pin content. That means the content will be persistent. It will be here when you leave and come back again. Why is that important for educators? It means that you can prepare your content ahead of time, like I did today, so that when it's time for class, you're not struggling trying to get videos and content up in the room. You can have that content already ready to go. You can also invite students to break away and engage with the content and come back again. A lot of useful reasons that you're going to use content or that you can do with pinning content to media frames. Now, you don't need to use a media frame to pin content, but the media frame is like a picture on the wall. It just makes it easier for you to put it up on the wall. You can pin 3D models in media frames. It does not have to be just 2D content. You can pin 3D content into a frame, and students can interact with it by orbiting, clicking and rotating the model and things like that. You should also know that you can share your screen, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm broadcasting my screen up here onto this media frame above. You can also upload your slide presentations in PDF format, and you can allow people to navigate the slides on their own in a slideshow format. So PDF is a great way of sharing content and media frames here too. When I'm done today, I'm going to put my presentation in PDF form so that if anybody revisits on their own later, they could navigate through the slides and check it out themselves. So that's media frames. 3D models. So 3D models, you can place 3D models in the room. When you click place and you choose 3D model, you'll have lots of options for placing models. A lot of them might seem silly and cartoonish, but there are some really amazing models out there that are worthy of sharing with students. And so I'm going to share some models with you later if we have time, but I want to give you an example of how powerful these models can be. First of all, models can be animated. They're not just static models that you just place in the room. They can be animated. You saw my dancing avatar. That was a model that was animated. So you can very powerful animation. Also, with models, there are collections of models out there that can be used for education. For example, you should know about the Sketchfab website, sketchfab.com. Out there, it's the world's largest #1 3D model marketplace, and they do have a lot of models for educators. In fact, I think it was the Smithsonian that just released over 1,500 models from the Asian Cultural Heritage Fine Arts Collection. Some amazing different 3D models that were LiDAR scanned that are very accurate, and you can place those models in the scene here in Hubs and share with your students. When you're working with 3D models, you can also clone them and invite students to make copies of them and interact with them. I've seen an example of an engineering class in Hubs where the instructor placed a model of a car. It was a self-driving car, and he invited students to pick up and clone some of the objects that he'd laid around the car. And he wanted the students to place the objects onto the car. For example, a QR code for a self-driving car. So those are some examples of how you can use models. One tip I'll tell you about is when you're looking for models, be careful. Look for models that have low polygon. Okay, now that's a jargon term, but you do need to be aware that if you place models that are really big in size or have a lot of polygons, that's not suitable for hubs. So you have to be. It takes a little bit of knowing what kind of models to use, but when you insert models in hubs, they will guide you to some of the more low poly models. I talked about room permissions a little bit already, but I just wanted to let you know that you can control the room. You can turn these things on and off if you have an account. I can limit how many people are in the room. I can say whether they're allowed to create objects or create drawings or create emojis or fly in the room. You have all that control and you can turn it on and off on the fly. I could go in here right now and turn these settings on and off, and you would have to be able to, and they would apply in real time to the room. You should also know that you can rename the room. When you edit the room in Hubs, it will change the URL. That means that you can reuse a meeting, right? So if you have a scene that you have bookmarked and you want to change it for a different audience, edit the room name. Now you got a different link, same room. So very functional. Also, you can ban people if you need to. You can promote them if they have accounts, and they can help you moderate the room if you need help. If you've got trolls in your room, you can kick them out. Um, Lots of controls here for controlling the classroom management. You can also adjust volume of users in the room too. If you need to get help with Hubs, you should know there's not a lot of support out there. You're going to be relying on the Discord community support and the GitHub's discussion board. So you're not going to find really strong support because this is open source, so it's used as is. I want to let you know that Hubs is not currently fully accessible, but I have faith that it will be. They are working hard to make it more accessible. They're working with a lot of educators. Accessibility is extremely important to educators, but you should know right now that it is not fully accessible for screen readers. Okay, so if you're if you're thinking about using this with students on screen readers, you should not be doing that right now. But know that that's going to change in the future, and I'm optimistic about that. Hubs is it's supported by a company named Mozilla. Mozilla is a non-for-profit company. They care about an open, free internet. They have a pledge for a healthy internet, and you're going to find that they're going to treat your privacy with respect, and they're going to meet your privacy requirements. And so, I just wanted to mention a word about Mozilla. So creating your rooms, when you create a room, you just go out to hubs.mozilla.com and click that create room button. Then you'll be able to name that room, and hey, you should bookmark the room so you can reuse it later. I have a link in my slide here that will allow you to create a hub school of your own. So if you want, you can revisit these slides later and you can create your own school that I started from. So if you want a copy of mine, you're welcome to do that. So this is just a few more things about immersive VR. I'm thinking that this is the point where we should pause and do some activities. If we have time, we'll revisit the rest of these slides. If we don't, you can view these slides on your own later. So let me stop sharing my screen here if I can. That's great. Thank you, Daniel.
I'm excited about the video part because there's so much I missed. This is mind blowing, and so yes, I agree. And I know. Can we clap?
Yes, it's the one button or two buttons. Sorry, it's the two, or it's three.
Awesome! Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
Oh, thank you all. This is so exciting. So let's have a little bit of fun. I have a photo pin board activity. If you don't mind, would you all follow me over into this next room over here? We're going to come over here, everyone. And this is the UniVirtual photo board. Now, I'm going to invite you all to take a selfie of yourself, and I'll tell you how to do that. You're welcome to come around here, and you can take a selfie however you'd like. You can put your face in here. And the way you take a selfie is in Mozilla, you click the place button. It's a green button at the bottom. You click place, and you'll see camera. And then it'll pop open a camera. Now you can click that camera and you can click and drag it around, left click and move it around. You can mouse wheel. If you click and hold it and use your mouse wheel, You can move it closer or further away. So that way you kind of just get your picture just the way you want it. And I'm going to get close up here. I'm going to get real close up. And there we go. And then take a picture. You can take a video too, by the way. The top button is a picture. The bottom button is a video. When you're done, you can hit the space bar and get rid of your camera. You don't need your camera anymore. And then you can just grab your picture. If you took that selfie, you can left click and grab it and just put it on the wall here if you want. Now, that is backwards, so I need to make sure that I put it the right orientation. So let's see if I could turn around here. Now I'm just going to put it up here on the wall where I've got these other photos. And you're welcome to do that too if you want. You guys, you're welcome to place your photos on the wall. See if is anybody having trouble with that? Are you having fun? How's it going with the selfies?
How come I feel too short for the opening?
You need to stand up. Are you in a chair? Oh no, you're on a computer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what you can do is you can fly. If you hit the G key, you could get a little higher up if you'd like. And I'm going to play some of these photos here. Can I take a picture of you, or should I take? Or did you get one?
No. If you could do that, that'd be great. Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Let me do that. So here's the camera, and I'm gonna come up close, and I'm gonna rotate around.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring it up real close here. But I'm gonna get out of the picture. All right. So here we go. Oh, I'm still in the shot. There we go. Now I'm out. All right. So let me get that frame just right. Oh, that really
gosh.
that looks cute.
Getting a screenshot of you doing this. I use Snagit on my computer, right, to take all my photographs. I got a photograph of that. This is blowing my mind. And I made an avatar in Ready Player Me, and I want to use that avatar.
Oh my gosh. So I heard you say Snagit. I use an even better app. Do you? But you might like Snagit. Do you have a licensed version of Snagit?
Oh, absolutely. I pay for it for 3 workstations. I do a lot of training manuals and stuff like that.
Of course. Okay.
And I take a lot of pictures. Like, I easily take 500 pictures in a day, and so
I do too. Well, not that many. I do not take that many, but I do a lot of annotated screenshots for like tech support with faculty, and I use the Cloud app. It's called the Cloud app, and it's Cloud app is awesome for screenshots. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Cloud app. I got to remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, gold. Pure
gold you're
giving us.
Oh, but so with Cloud app, you can tag your screenshots into collections.
Yep.
So that you can, and I'm sure you do that with Snagit. I'm guessing you do that with Snagit.
Well,
so we've got some great selfies here, by the way, everyone. I'm just going to put these up on the wall. I got to get it right orientation, but get that figured out.
Yeah. Oh, I love flying. Oh my gosh, this is liberating.
Flying is so much fun. Hey, by the way, has anybody flown in Google Earth yet?
What? No.
Do you know about that? Do you know you can fly in Google Earth?
Oh, Lance, that avatar is just awesome. I love that, Lance.
Isn't that great?
Good.
Yeah, I gotta get that. Ready, play me. How do you fly in Google Earth? Just Google it. It'll tell you. I don't have the right headset, Daniel, but you do. I don't have a PC-powered headset, but if you have one, you can fly. And some people say it's like flying for real.
Can you use the link cable with the Quest 2? Like, will that work?
Probably. You know, I don't have a PC power, powerful PC, so I don't have a link either.
I'm gonna try that. Oh my gosh.
I know, you got to go fly in Google Earth for sure. I learned so much from Daniel. I was in a session with Daniel in Frame VR, and he showed me how to do photospheres. And you know what I did after that, Daniel? I went out and downloaded Google Street View, and I created a whole VR college campus virtual tour. I sure did. And that was so clever because some of those, we have photospheres on Google Maps from some of our users on our campus, but we have some campus outreach centers that did not. So I used the Google Street View for those, and it worked great. Yeah.
Mm.
Copyright.
Copyright.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a good point, Daniel, because my colleague has copyright on some of the photospheres I'm using. So I give him attribution, and you can do that in Mozilla. So you can give attribution in your scenes. You can give CC attribution. So that's, hey, so we have one more activity. You guys want to have some fun? Is anybody brave enough to do some karaoke? Anybody?
It's pretty early in the morning.
I know it's early. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're not up for it, I can just show you what I have planned. But come on over here to this next scene real quick, everyone. I'll show you the last activity I have planned, if you don't mind. It's over here.
I think watching sounds like a wonderful idea.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. So much fun. Okay. So let's see if I get this right here. Okay, so let's get that all lined up here. So yeah, come on in, everybody. This is going to be a scene that I have set up to show you. And I've got my talking crocodile avatar over here. And what I'm going to invite you to do, if you're willing, is to try on the crocodile. So you can try on the crocodile by clicking on it. Okay, is everybody willing? Now, this crocodile has a talking mouth. I've animated his mouth.
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh, this is awesome.
Okay.
Oh, too
All right.
funny.
Talk about expression.
Kodak moment, people. A Kodak moment.
Oh my Lord.
Yes. See, now, do you see how you can do this with your students so easily by setting up these avatars? And but what's even more powerful than an avatar with a prop. So if you would all come over here, and if you hold the space bar down, I would like you all to clone the microphone. I'd like you to make a clone of the microphone. If you'd all make a copy. Okay, has everybody got a mic? Right? All right. So, are you guys ready? Let's do it. You guys like Billy Idol?
Yes.
I love Billy Idol. Okay.
This is awesome.
Yes.
Oh yes.
What you done?
What
And you gotta dance a little bit. You gotta rock your heads a little bit. Hey, little sister, who's your Superman? Hey, little sister, who's the one you want? Hey, little sister, nice day. Start again.
It's a nice
Nice
day.
day for a white wedding. Yeah. Oh, screenshots. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've got some awesome photos. Oh my gosh.
Oh, loving it. Yeah, rock that crocodile. Hey, little sister, shotgun, nice day. Start again. Nice day for why wedding. Nice day to start again. Yeah, all right, everybody. Yeah, toss that microphone in the air. Yeah.
The crocodiles.
Oh, yeah, and you know what, by the way, you can make things, you can add gravity to things. There you go. Drop the mic, everybody. Drop the mic. All right, and just to show off a
That
little
was
bit
fun.
here,
Thank you.
yeah. So, by the way, this expression, when you're in a headset, it's so much more expressive than when you're on a computer. And so, let me just show you an example of that real quick here. Watch, look at the movement of my body, and look how expressive I can be. Yeah. I mean, so you can really animate yourself.
Yep.
Nice.
And then later, I get closer to the camera, and then it gets really funny. Now, I'm being silly, everybody. This is silly, but we are learning.
Today we're going to use Mozilla Hubs for our session, so we're going to invite you in.
Yeah,
and
so-
share a link in the chat. When you click on the link, you can rename use the WASD keys to move around forward, backward, right, and left.
Yes. So one last little treat,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm going to change my avatar to my QT avatar, and you can all see what I look like in real life. Okay, everybody, can you see my photo on my Hi. Isn't this kind of fun to,
Oh, okay.
like really project your real image on your avatar? That kind of fractures the universe a little bit, doesn't it?
Fractures the universe.
That's the way of putting it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've
So,
never had such a. This is amazing.
yeah. So if you guys want to create your own avatar and put your if you want to put your photo on your T-shirt or the UniVirtual logo, you can do that. So here, you guys. Yeah. So here. Oh, same thing. It's the exact same thing. I just put the link in the chat. It's called the QT Maker. And you can go out there and make your own custom avatar with a QT Maker, upload your photo, download the avatar and bring it into Mozilla.
Wow.
And by the way, if you haven't done this, you guys, click on the chat. You can save and download any of your videos or screenshots today. Click on the chat. Make sure you click on chat.
How do you click on chat when you're in the headset?
Let's see. I got the controls here. So chat are you on an Oculus?
Yep.
Let's see. Teleport, show menus. I don't think you have chat, and that kind of makes sense, right? Because you
okay.
have a keyboard, so maybe you can't. I don't think you have chat.
Right.
Yeah, but let me ask, who's that? Who's talking? Is that Steph? Or
That's Steph here.
is there something I can save for you and send to you? Well, in any case, you know what? It's qt-mkr.com. qt-mkr. Yeah. You guys, we're probably getting close to. Well, we're still right about time. We're 6 to 7:30 today. I've got a few more slides. I'd be happy to bore you with.
Oh, there's no
Please.
boring here. I have to say, you're going to be booked for a speaker again. Boy.
I'm so excited about this whole UniVirtual experience. So come on back to the stage and we'll finish with some slides. Yeah.
I like this flying business. Pretty cool. Oh, but I'd like how do I get rid of the croc?
Yeah, so you're going to click on the more button. More button, change name and avatar. And then you'll be able to change your avatar back to something else again.
Oh,
And
I have to
then-
remember what I want. Oh, my avatar's probably
I found
saved.
something here.
No,
Okay,
it
good.
didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So let me change my avatar back to my Ready Player Me avatar to kind of have some consistency here with this recording and presentation as we finish up. By the way, I have, Charlie Fink talked about a unified avatar in the metaverse. And that concept really stood out to me. And the reason is because if you look at my avatar and you look at my profile over there on the wall, that is the profile I'm using for all of my socials. for my Google account, for everything, so that when you see me, that's who I am in the physical world and in the metaverse, so that you can identify me. It's kind of like a branding thing if you think about it. So Charlie said that your number one avatar like will be very important to you, be your most important asset, and besides your virtual wallet, he said, in the metaverse. So I like that idea. Let me finish with some slides. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here again. And one thing you guys should know is that you cannot share computer sound. So I had some videos in my slides, but that wouldn't work. So I had to put them on the wall here if I wanted you to hear it. So, that's one of the thing that doesn't work. You can't share sound out of your slides. All right. So I was just going to wrap up with more about immersive VR. And so I like this, from a getting started standpoint, telling people, well, what is VR exactly? Well, in really simple terms, it's just creating a virtual environment in that such a way that you can experience it and you feel like you're there. This is what makes Hubs feel different than Zoom. How many of you really have that feeling of a physical experience in Zoom? I don't really get that so much. But being in a place like this, you really do get the feeling of being in a physical space. And here's something to tell you about immersion. When we talk about immersion, well, what do we mean by that? Because you can be on a computer or you can be on a headset, and there are differences. But when we talk about immersion, there are three main concepts. First is vision. The thing is a VR headset fills in your peripheral view. That immerses you visually into the scene. The next sense is auditory. When you put on those earbuds or those headphones, you are now experiencing sound around you, spatial sound. So you are now immersing yourself with audio. The last piece of immersion is less important, but it really makes the difference. And it's interaction. It's movement, but it's interaction. Um, the interaction is important because if you can interact with objects and you can control things, the immersion, it just changes the experience entirely. And so when it comes to VR, and we're telling educators about different types of VR technology, we're going to overwhelm them with a lot of terminology. So I'm trying to make things simple for the audience to understand that there are different concepts of different types of VR. And when we talk about semi-immersive, that is important because that's where most of your students are going to be at. They're going to be on a computer or a mobile device. They're not going to be fully immersed. They're not going to be doing AR unless you're doing more advanced things, depending on who you are and your students. Web-based VR is another term that's really important because it means that students can access this content without having to have an account or software or hardware to do it. Collaborative VR is really interesting, right? That's this whole notion of workspace VR, like, hey, let's get together as a team and work together in VR. And that's going to revolutionize how things are done in the near future. Social VR is one of the key things that I think that this matters the most, is this ability to interact with each other socially in an immersed way, the ability to turn on our cameras, turn on our microphones, and animate our bodies and actually interact with each other. So this is just some concepts, right? And here, I know this audience knows what the metaverse is. This is just a quick share from Wikipedia, but you all should know that the important thing about the metaverse is this notion of sharing. The idea that there's user-generated content everybody shares and that you can share. Well, Mozilla Hubs allows for that. It has Creative Commons licensing. It has a community of users that share content. So, and the metaverse, as you know, was built upon the novel Snow Crash, right? And so you heard a little bit about that if you were at Charlie Fink's presentation. And this, I won't be able to play this for you because I can't share my sound, but this was a recent presentation for students in VR that I came across in my research. This is before I even learned about educators in VR. I learned about students in VR first. And Ryan Schultz is he's a prolific blogger and writer about VR and immersive environments, and he's been writing about it and blogging ever since Second Life came out, and some earlier environments. So for about 14 years, and he said that what is social VR? Well, there's some specific things, and I would have played you the video. He does a better job explaining it, but you need to be able to represent yourself. You need to, there needs to be focus on social interaction, and that's what is happening here, right? Can I get an emoji, right, for everybody on that social interaction? So, and then content is primarily user generated and shared. That's what's happening here in Hubs. So let me advance past that. So popular social VR platforms, this is just a few, based off the UniVirtual Experience, there are a lot more. And so these are just some of the big ones. Mozilla's up there. Facebook Horizons, I hear, is out of beta. I don't know. I signed up for beta. They didn't let me in. Yes. Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
cube.
Okay, that's all right.
Yep.
What I'll do is I will unpin it. I will add it back again because it must have lost its connection when I was sharing. So that's good to know. Let's see if I can get that back again.
There you go.
Oh,
Back
that's
again.
better.
Excellent. Thank
Yep.
you for that. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah. So anyway, this slide actually is probably not that informative to you because but here's a screenshot of my Oculus, right, showing all these different apps. If you are on the Oculus, you've back in 2018. All right. From an engineer at Google when they released the immersive web, this article about the immersive web and welcome to the immersive web. Um, I just wanted to let you know that this is just happening. This is from 2018, so things have really changed in just the last few years. And so the immersive web is now upon us and is really taking ground. Here's another video. You can watch this later. By the way, as a reminder, at the entry here, you can get to my slides. There's a link right at the entry when you come in. You can watch. This is a really terrific video. When Mozilla Hubs first came out and introduced their WebXR, they shared this video. It was really amazing. And you can watch that later yourself. How about WebXR browser compatibility? Well, it's not quite there yet, but it is getting very close. Chrome, Edge, uh, Firefox all support WebXR, and then Safari is coming. Apple's just taking their time, but that's coming. In fact, I think it might even be out where WebXR will be supported by Safari. And you should know that WebXR is an open standard. What I mean by that is it's built on standards that are not owned by a company, or they're not proprietary. They are open standards. And do you know the WebXR standard was built upon the WebGL standard? That's the technology in the browser that supports 3D. And you should also know that the Kronos Group is the organization behind the open standards for WebXR. And I'm very proud to say that the headquarters for Kronos is here in Oregon. So just wanted to mention Kronos. And then I am so excited about Mozilla. I am so fanatical. I went out and bought T-shirts and hats. I got so excited. I am totally a fan. And so Mozilla, it was back in 2017 that they announced bringing mixed reality to the web. Now, they've done more than just Mozilla Hubs. You should know that A-Frame is a WebXR HTML programming or coding language that you can use to create WebXR experiences. Their Mozilla Firefox Reality browser is the browser you can download in the Oculus Quest. And so they're just a terrific company. So not so much a terrific company is Facebook. Okay. I am a Facebook user, but like many others, you're probably not a big fan, or there's reasons to be concerned about Facebook. But Facebook has changed VR, and here's why. They've brought these devices to the public at relatively low cost. They have devices that are untethered. That matters. You have hand controllers, and they even have hand tracking now. Um, the access to a marketplace to discover and purchase content is so important. And then having it integrated with your social media is also critical. I've already mentioned the hand tracking, but the lip sync tracking too is really key innovation in this technology that's low cost and brought to the market. A mobile app to manage your content and settings, and then accessories to extend the comfort and usability of your hardware. You know, that is why we're all starting to get into VR more and more. Is some of these things are, they're important, they matter. So I just wanted to point out why I wanted to mention Oculus. Oculus is important, but there's so much more innovation going on now with the headsets. We'll see if we'll see some others enter the marketplace, but Oculus is really got the foothold, and that's probably going to be the predominant marketplace for commercial VR anyway. You guys, thank you all so much for coming.
Oh, thank you.
So happy that you're here. That's all I've got for my presentation today, and
Oh my gosh.
very
That is-
excited.
That is like, yeah, that's a lot.
Oh, thank you. Oh, very much so. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I got to take a screenshot of that applause. That's so awesome. Oh, awesome. Oh, I'm loving it. And Daniel, thank you also for connecting me with educators of VR. Thank you, Donna, for all of your great work. You guys are inspiring. I'm really interested in your group. So I will leave you guys with a little bit of a little bit of music, and I appreciate you all coming. Feel free to hang out and socialize, and I'll wrap it up.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't want to leave. What's the problem?
I'm gonna have to put up my dancing avatar here again. Let's do that. Hip hop. There you go. Yeah, let's get him going. Get him bigger here. And get him straight. Takes a little bit of getting him straight, right? It's got to. There we go. There we go.
There you go.
And then I got to just pick him up and put him. There we go. Yeah. Is he in the camera? No. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, no, he's off camera. I got to get him in the camera so he can. There we go. Thank you, Daniel. So excited about all the things going on. This is a crazy month, and I've got my calendar's just jam packed with UniVirtual.
Thank you very much for that calendar.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. If everybody who's still left would like to get into a group photo,